welcome everybody. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow you the best and keeps you, inshallah, as healthy as you can be, inshallah. For your health, please recite aloud salawat. We're going to start the recitation of the Holy Quran. If you want to follow with us, just open the Quran. It happened to be on this Quran, page 209. It's Surah Yunus, ayah number 7, and we go about 3-4 ayah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا إن الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا ورضوا بالحياة الدنيا واطمأنوا بها والذين هم عن آياتنا غافلون أولئك مأواهم النار بما كانوا يكسبون إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات يهديهم ربهم بإيمانهم تجري من تحتهم الأنهار تجري من تحتهم الأنهار في جنات النعيم دعواهم فيها سبحانك اللهم وتحياتهم فيها سلام وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. ولو يعجل الله للناس الشر استعجالهم بالخير لقضي إليهم أجلهم فنذر الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا في طغيانهم يعمهون وإذا مس الإنسان الضر دعانا لجنبه أو قاعدا أو قائما فلما كشفنا عنه ضره مر كأن لم يدعنا إلى ضر مسه فلما كشفنا عنه ضره مر كأن لم يدعنا إلى ضر مسه كذلك زين للمسرفين ما كانوا يعملون آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. Please help me invite Honorable Sayyid Mustafa Al-Qazwin to the podium of the salawat, please.
السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. So tonight, inshallah, we begin a new chapter, chapter number 14, and that is Surah Ibrahim alayhi salam, one of the most beautiful chapters in the Quran. And this chapter has 52 verses, 52 ayah, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام راء كتاب أنزلناه إليك لتخرج الناس من الظلمات إلى النور بإذن ربهم إلى صراط العزيز الحميد. الله الذي له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وويل للكافرين من عذاب شديد. الذين يستحبون الحياة الدنيا على الآخرة ويصدون عن سبيل الله ويبغونها عوجا أولئك في ضلال بعيد. صدق الله العلي العظيم. So this chapter is Surah Makkiyah, from the Meccan chapters. Most of you know that the Quran is divided into Meccans and Medinans chapter. Meccans and Medinite. However, some verses of the Quran came neither in Mecca nor in Medina, in between. Sometimes the Prophet was on the way, either from Mecca to Medina or from Medina to Mecca, or outside Medina. But most of the Quran either arrived in Mecca or Medina, and these two types of verses are distinguished from each other. So if you read the chapter, the surah which is Meccan, you realize that this is a Meccan chapter, even if it doesn't tell you there in the Quran. If you are familiar with the Quran, with the language of the Quran, with the literature of the Quran, with the style of the Quran, you can distinguish between the Meccan and the Medinite. How do you distinguish? What are the main characteristics of the Meccan chapters? Speaks about what? The main theme, yes, about about the fundamentals of religion, the infrastructure of religion. What is the infrastructure of religion? Monotheism, the Day of Judgment, the role of mankind, why we are here. It answers these questions. Why we have been created, why we are here, what is our responsibilities, our rights and responsibilities, how we are different from other religions. So it speaks about the infrastructure, theological and philosophical infrastructure of religion. Whereas the Madanite chapters focus mostly on what? On civic law, on the societal law, on the family law, on what is forbidden and what is lawful, halal and haram, on transactions, business, trade, dealing with your friends, dealing with your neighbors, dealing with your enemies. These are mentioned in the Madanite chapters, because first God has to introduce religion to us in Mecca. But then in Medina we had a state, we had a community, we had a society, and the society needs what? Rules and regulations. So this is the main difference between them. In this chapter, it is 52 ayah. But ayah number 29 and 28 and 29, they came in Medina, because they spoke about the Battle of Badr. And the Battle of Badr, when the Prophet was won, where was he? He had just arrived into Medina in the second year of Hijrah. Battle of Badr took place when Prophet moved from Mecca to Medina in the second year of Hijrah. So only two verses, 28 and 29, speak about the Battle of Badr. There are 29 chapters in the Quran, begins with the separated letters, the detached letters. Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Ra, Kaf Ha Ya Ain Sad, Ham Mim. These are Al-Huruf Al-Muqatta'a. Ahsant. Al-Huruf Al-Muqatta'a. The separated letters or the detached letters. Six of these 29 begins with Alif Lam Ra. 6 chapters. Ibrahim is one of them. Ibrahim is chapter number 5, where it begins with Alif Lam Ra. And the name of this chapter is Ibrahim because it is attributed to Shaykhul Anbiya, the hero that defeated idol worshipping. The first prophet who resisted and he fought against Asnam, idol worshipping, was Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. So speaks about him in verses number 35 through 41, 6 verses. But these are very important verses. He speaks about his aspirations. What does he say from 35? He says, he speaks about, oh God, make Mecca a peaceful place. رَبِّ اجْعَلْ هَذَا الْبَلَدَ آمِنًا وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّ اجْعَلْ هَذَا الْبَلَدَ آمِنًا. Make Mecca, because without security, we cannot exist. Can you leave your home if it is dangerous outside? You can't leave your home. In America, sometimes you buy a house for $30,000. And sometimes you buy another house for $30 million. Both of them are properties. Both of them are homes. One for $30,000, the other for $30 million. What is the difference? Huh? Location. I went to, this past weekend, I was in the East Coast, through a neighborhood that properties are $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. But it is not safe. The difference is safety and security. You don't lock the door, you are not safe inside. So Ibrahim says, first thing I need, my Lord, I'm asking you for the first request. First, before food, اجعل هذا البلد آمنا. Make my neighborhood, my city, my country, my society amin, as peace and security and stability. And then he asks about protection himself and his children. Again, the second, those children, we have to protect them. How nice this gentleman is sitting and watching me. He's going to be a scholar in the future. Look at the way he listens. This means, because the first step to learn is to listen. He's listening. Okay? So, protection for him and his children. Ibrahim, alayhi salam, was asking. And then, prosperity for his progeny. Prosperity. We need a prosperity for our. We need shelter, we need food, we need education, we need healthcare. This is prosperity. And then the most important thing, he concludes, forgiveness. Forgiveness for himself and his parents. For himself and his parents. رَبِّ اجْعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ. Give me what I need. Give me food, shelter, security, but then connect me with you. رَبِّ اجْعَلْني مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي. My family also. It's not enough for the parents to pray. We need to see our children pray too. Our joy would not be complete unless we see the children, the grandchildren, they pray too. They connect to God. Once you connect them to God, they are safe. You don't worry about them. Connect your children to God, khalas. You don't worry about them. Wherever they go, they are connected to the source of protection, source of power, source of light, source of energy. So these are the aspirations of Ibrahim. From verse 35, we will come to them soon, inshallah, till verse 41. So what else do you need? Ibrahim is asking God in 6 verses. He's asking everything for this life and the hereafter. Spiritual needs and material needs in 6 verses. From 35 until 41. And among the key themes of this chapter is the stark difference between gratefulness, being grateful, and being ungrateful. And that is mentioned also in this chapter in verse number 7. Next Thursday, America celebrates Thanksgiving, which is a good tradition. It teaches us to give thanks to the Lord, to give thanks to our parents, to give thanks to our neighbors, to give thanks to people who serve us, to our teachers, to our doctors, to our, security forces, to everyone. It teaches us something very fundamental, which is mentioned in the Quran. Give thanks, be grateful. Be grateful. And it's mentioned in verse number 7 in our book. Chapter 14, Surah Ibrahim, verse number 7. وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ. Once your Lord proclaimed, تَأَذَّن, proclaimed, declared. وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you give thanks, I promise you, if you give thanks, I will surely grant you an increase. Give you more. Give you more of health, more of sustenance, more of peace of mind, more of stability. But you have to give thanks. You have to be grateful to God. So, some people, they are being ungrateful to the many blessings that God provides us. We take them for granted. We take these blessings for granted. We don't appreciate them. When do we appreciate them? When we lose them. The day we lose health, we say, wow, for 40 years I was able to run, to jump, to do things myself. Now I need my wife to help me. I need someone to hold my hand to walk. I didn't appreciate the meaning of health. I didn't appreciate the meaning of peace and security. In some countries, you don't dare to leave your house. Do you know that? Some countries in South America, in Central America, I was flying the other day. A lady sat next to me. She said, I came to America 40 years ago from Guatemala. And few months ago, I went to visit, my family there, and I intended to stay for 1 month. But after 1 week, I came back. I cut my visit short to 1 week. I said, why? She said, because it was not secure, it was not safe. When they know you are coming from America, they know you carry some currency, hard currency with you. So they kidnap you. If you leave home, they kidnap you and they ask for ransom. You have to pay $50,000, $100,000. This happens not only in South America, it happens in many countries. Many countries I've traveled to, people don't enjoy security. We take it for granted here. We don't pay attention to it. We have to be thankful to God. The day you return home safe, your children return home safe, say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I thank God for this ni'mah, for this blessing of peace and security. Every moment of our life, my friends, should be dedicated to give gratitude and thanks to God. The best dhikr is to say Alhamdulillah, Ash-shukru lillah. I thank God for what I have. I have many things. I look around me, some people miss these things. I have a mother, I have a father, I have a husband, I have a wife, I have son, I have daughter, I have good neighbors. So we have to give thanks, always. So here, let's go to the first ayah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام را, or detached letters. For the Anbiya, they know how to use these passwords. Another theory of the Mufassirin states that God wants to say this miracle, which is called Quran, is made of what? Is made of these simple letters that you and me use every day. But yet, we cannot create something similar to the Quran. It's made of the material of the Quran, same thing that is available for all, but only God can put this book together. We have the material, but we cannot put it together. We cannot rival the book. We cannot bring something similar to it. So the book is a great book, but made of simple letters. This is the mu'jiza. This is the... We send you this book, so you might bring forth mankind and nas, not just Muslims, mankind. This is a universal book. To bring forth mankind out of darknesses into light. من الظلمات إلى النور. ظلمات plural. And nur is what? Singular. Because God says darkness has many ways. And darkness exemplifies division. Division has many ways, many roads. Whereas nur, light, represents what? Unity. It unifies people. So they have one road, one path. They are together. Nur puts people together. Dhulumat, darknesses, divides people into many ways. It shatters the family, it shatters the community, it shatters the country. So it is darknesses, not just darkness. من الظلمات إلى النور. We sent you to bring people forth with this book. من الظلمات إلى النور. Now, what type of ظلمات? Is it material darkness? No. Spiritual and moral darkness. Otherwise, sometimes in some homes they have plenty of lights. But there is no guidance, there is no happiness. They have lights. If you fly over Las Vegas and you watch Las Vegas from the air, full of lights, the city of lights. I don't think we have a city in America has that much light like Las Vegas. But inside, it's a city of darkness. They have material life, but they don't have moral and spiritual light. They have material light, but not moral light. So the darkness here, it is meant the spiritual darkness. Someone who doesn't know God, he lives in darkness. Even if he has the best house, even if he has the best lighting, his heart is dark. When the heart becomes dark, a student on his friends, they are his friends, not his enemies. He studies with them. He dines with them, he goes out with them, he socializes with them, but yet he turns against them. In a moment of darkness, this is spiritual darkness. When his heart becomes dark, he becomes confused and lost, and he doesn't know why he is here, and he thinks people are his enemies. He thinks people don't like him. This is a moment of darkness. Why do we have mass shooting in America? We can't even count them, believe me. In the recent 10, 15 years, we don't even count them. So many mass shootings. Almost every week. Somewhere in America, innocent people. In the mall, in the shopping center, in the school, in the hospital, they get killed. These are examples of spiritual darkness. When someone, his or her heart and the soul becomes dark, ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة. That's it. The spiritual light is turned off. Then he becomes confused. Then it is easy for him to become worse than a beast. أولئك كالأنعام بل هم أضل. God says those whose hearts are dark, they become worse than beasts and cattle. More dangerous. More dangerous. Sometimes the beast, if you pass by the beast, he doesn't notice you. He doesn't hurt you. But some people, you don't do anything to them. They come premeditated with what? With hate, with a prejudice, with sickness. Sickness of the heart. في قلوبهم مرض. من الظلمات إلى النور بإذن ربهم. بإذن ربهم. People who don't have light, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهِ لَهُ نُورًا فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ نُورٍ. If God does not bestow His light upon us, we can't borrow it from somewhere else. We cannot buy it. It's not available in the market. Spiritual dark is not available in the market. الله ولي الذين آمنوا يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور. It is God. This is the work of God. When someone becomes cut off from God and his heart becomes dark, then he becomes always anxious, always worried. Always he spends the rest of his time worried. Worried about material things. Worried about the smallest things. He's not connected to God. One of the advantages of faith, of knowing God, is that I know I'm not alone here. I'm not alone. There is God who's إِنَّنِي مَعَكُمَا أَسْمَعُ وَأَرَى. I see, I hear, I feel, I follow you, I observe you. So don't worry. You are not alone. You are not alone. That is the advantage of faith. You don't feel lonely. Even if you stay alone at home, you are not lonely. You know there is God in your life. And God brings guidance. I say to friends always, don't disconnect with God. Keep your prayers. Keep your prayers because you need them. One day you're going to be deserted, alone. But God is not going to desert you. Family members might desert you, but God does not desert you. If you maintain your relationship with Him, if you maintain the 5 daily prayers, if you teach yourself to say always, Ya Allah, ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. I really need you. I need you. I am a sinner. I am deficient. But I need you. I need your help. God is not going to desert you. يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور. بإذن ربهم. The Prophet is going to take people from darknesses into light with the leave of God, with the permission of God. With the permission of God. إلى صراط العزيز, to the path of God, who's Aziz, powerful. You are asking someone who has power, Sometimes we do tawassul to things, to people who don't have power. Someone goes to the doctor, please doctor, save my life. The doctor, he cannot save his own life. You know how many doctors they are diagnosed with cancer every single day? He's a doctor. He's a doctor. He's a surgeon. He teaches medicine, but he cannot save his life. We can't say to people, save my life. Yes, we get help, yeah, of course. But he's not going to save your life because he cannot save his own life. بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ إِلَى صِرَاطِ الْعَزِيزِ. God is the powerful. God is the one who can do anything. Al-Aziz, Al-Hamid, the gracious, the praised. And then after that, Quran says, Allahu alladhi lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. God, unto whom belongs everything in this universe. We think that we are owners of the properties, but we are not owners. لمن الملك اليوم لله الواحد القهار. We are leasing here in this life. Believe me, everything we have, it's a lease. We have to get evicted one day. Imam Ali alayhi salam has very beautiful proverb and method and maxim. He says, our real property in this life, وَحُفْرَةٌ, only this big small hole where they put us in it and they shut, the cover. That's it. That is our real home. The rest are not our home. We are leasing here. Man fi dunya dhayf. Our Prophet says we are all guests in this life. We are guests. So Allah, the owner is Allahu alladhi lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. The real owner of this universe is God. We are here, we live in this house 20, 30, 40, 70 years. No more than 70. Then they tell us, you have to move to another house. I saw a clip last night from South Korea. I like this clip. I think the Muslims should do the same. In South Korea, I don't know what church, what temple, they invite people to bring their coffins. People make coffins for themselves, janazah, coffin. And then they sleep, and some of them are young, in their 20s and their 30s, men and women. They lay down in this coffin and they shut the door, they shut it, becomes very dark, for 10 minutes. And they tell him, think about what happens to you when you really die, and nobody is there to help you. This is a good reminder. This is a wake-up call for all of us. Sooner or later, they put us in the coffin. Sooner or later. We cannot escape that. We cannot escape that. I know a church here, I don't mention it out of respect. A mega church here in Orange County. I know the owner of that church. One day he told us, 20 years ago, he said, I started from my small home, the garage of my home, preaching. I would stand on the hood of my car and I preach. He built, I don't know how many acres, huge church. And then he went bankrupt and he had to sell it. At one time his church, his ministry was an empire. Believe me, I would call it an empire. It's a city, it has everything inside. You need to go there from morning till evening just to see the property. It has everything. He went bankrupt and he had to give it to others. He spent 50 years, my friends, half a century, 50 full years, building this church, day by day. At the end, he had to leave and he died bankrupt. I know that verse. So nothing belongs to us. Nothing belongs to us in this life. Allahu الذي له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. Yes, we enjoy this life. We enjoy our property, but we don't get attached to it. That is the difference. We use it, but we don't get attached to it. So we are ready for eviction. When we receive the eviction letter, we say, okay, I'm not sad because I know I have to leave. I used it for 50 years, now I have to leave. I have to leave it. وَوَيْلٌ لِلْكَافِرِينَ مِنْ عَذَابٍ شَدِيدٍ. Then God says, who are the non-believers, kafirin? الَّذِينَ يَسْتَحِبُّونَ. Kafirin in this verse have three features, three characteristics. Number one, الَّذِينَ يَسْتَحِبُّونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا عَلَى الْآخِرَةِ. Those who prefer this life, the life of this world, over the hereafter. It means that they get attached to this life. Therefore, they don't think about the other one. The reason why they don't think about the other one, and they don't like the other one, because they get attached to this abode of impermanence. Permanence. وَإِنَّ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ. So, using this life is okay, my friends. We can use anything in this life, but don't get attached. This is what Islam says and keeps reminding us. Quran keeps reminding us. بَلْ تُؤْثِرُونَ in Surah Al-A'la. بَلْ تُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيا. You give a preference to it. You get attached to it. وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. Because you are attached to this small world, you think that there is nothing there. Take your kids to Disneyland. Tell me, when kids goes to Disneyland at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., when parents wants to bring them back home, would they agree? They don't agree. They want to stay there. They think that the entire life is Disneyland. But the mother tells them, Mama, we came here only from 8 in the morning or 10 in the morning until 10 in the evening. The real life is not here. This is a fantasy. Here is the life of fantasy. I remember when I came to America 25 years ago, they took us to Disneyland. And they had a show at that time. I think the name of the show was Fantastic Something. Do you remember? Huh? Fantastic something. Fantasia, fantastic, whatever. So it is fantasy. It's not real. It's not real. The real is here. The mother tells them you have to go back to school. Tomorrow you have to wake up at 6 a.m. You have a school. You have to do your homework. We are like kids. We think that we are here forever. Allah is saying you have to wake up. There is another life. You are not here to stay. Look at those around you who are leaving. Every single day, some members of your family, your friends are leaving. So, الَّذِينَ, this is their number one problem. يَسْتَحِبُّونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا. They give a preference to this life over the next one. يَسْتَحِبُّونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا عَلَى الْآخِرَةِ. God did not say الَّذِينَ يَسْتَخْدِمُونَ الْحَيَاةِ. He didn't say don't sit in nice house, don't drive nice car, don't do this, don't eat, don't. No. He said don't get attached. Don't get attached. Don't get fascinated with this life. Be ready to leave. Enjoy it, but don't get attached to it. الَّذِينَ يَسْتَحِبُّونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا عَلَى الْآخِرَةِ. The second, وَيَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Not only they turn away from God, they make people with them who live with them to turn away from God. And I've seen this in many communities. Their son is virtuous, righteous. He wants to do something good. The mother tells him, no, stay away. The father tells him, no, don't do this. So not only the father and the mother, they are not practicing. They don't allow their kids to practice Islam. الَّذِينَ يَصُدُّونَ وَيَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. They don't allow others to work for God. That is the second problem. And the third one, وَيَبْغُونَهَا عِوَجًا. And they seek to make their life crooked. عِوَجًا. أُولَٰئِكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ بَعِيدٍ. They don't know how to drive. Some people, they don't know how to drive straight. They drive zigzagging. He doesn't know how to walk straight. Some people in this life, their life is not clean. The business is not clean. The relation, they have to have a fraud. They have to cheat. They have to lie. They have to steal. They have to crooked. He doesn't know how to walk in straight path. He doesn't know how to be honest. He doesn't know how to speak truth to people. If you give him a loan, khalas, he would not give it back to you. If you try to help him, he turns against you. If you advise him, he thinks that you are his enemy. Their life is crooked. These are one of the characteristics of whom? The non-believers. The non-believers. The non-believers. They don't know how to drive straight way. They don't know. So that is their third problem. وَيَبْغُونَهَا عِوَجًا أُولَٰئِكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ بَعِيدٍ. Those people are truly the lost ones. They lost it. They lost this cause. أُولَٰئِكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ بَعِيدٍ. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow guidance on us and ma'rifah, inshallah. So we open our eyes, we get closer to Him, and inshallah we become His agents, the agents of guidance. We lend our hands to bring others, inshallah, to the right path. Before I conclude, please, let's pray sincerely for three of our dear brothers. Brother Farhad, who had a surgery, and the brother of our honorable sister Najat Khan. His name is Shawkat Khan. He is in the intensive care unit in Sacramento. And our dear brother Shamsuddin Shahidi, who asked me yesterday, and he said, ask people to pray for me, inshallah. He's scheduled for a surgery December 5th, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. 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 يا الله من على مرضانا بالشفاء والعافية، المرضى المنظورين، اللهم ألبسهم ثوب الصحة والعافية عاجلا، وعجل في فرج سيدنا ومولانا صاحب العصر والزمان، وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والشهداء ثواب الفاتحة مع الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل